position of the season so far. Duran and Bruno Senna. So they are the three men that in each of their cars will get a 30 kilowatt boost, which is equivalent to about 40 brake horsepower for a number of seconds in both cars, and they can use that anytime they want except off the start finish line. So let's hear from our pole position man, Jean-Eric Vergne.
Scott, I thought you did.
Interrupt you there while you're eating a little snack before the race. Have you not had your lunch?
I like apples.
Like apples, good. Well, I also think you're going to like the idea. You've just won another fan boost. Congratulations.
Ah, that's really nice. Thanks to all my fans. I really appreciate it, and hopefully this one, is going to be the good one, and that I can win it. So I'm starting from a good position. All I do is to keep this one. So
you're obviously a popular man. 3 out of 3 fan boosts now. When do you think you might use it in the race? There are some long straights.
Hopefully, I wish I'm not going to have to use it to overtake, but more to defend, so we will see.
All right, thanks very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
So Jean-Eric Vergne is the man who will start this race on pole position just in front of Nico Prost, and this is a Coast Guard flyby, and that must be quite a decent view, I'd have thought, of Miami. Very, very entertaining. Gilles de Ferran is here this weekend, and Dario Franchitti has been down on the grid catching up with him.
Gilles, good to see you, my old teammate.
It's great to be here, Dario. It's a fantastic day. I'm a local guy, so I couldn't miss it.
What's your association with Formula E? There's been some involvement from the start, yeah?
Yeah, right from the beginning, I was very interested in the series. I thought it was a great idea. And I met Alejandro, I met Ali, and I tried to help them right from the start, and I think it's what they've been able to accomplish in such a short period is awesome, and you can't underestimate the amount of work that goes into putting all new races, new cars, new technology, new teams, new everything. So the fact that we're here and the race is happening is really fantastic.
How about me and you? We go lock a couple of drivers in the bathroom, steal a couple of cars. You fancy that?
I think we can do that. Why not? Huh? Actually, the ones in the front, I think, are better than the ones
I agree.
on the other side. So,
good to see you, Gilles.
Great to see you, Daddy.
Great to see two old teammates on the grid. And talking of old teammates, there's Jean-Eric Vergne with most of his ex-Toro Rosso teammates on the grid, because we've got Antonio Liuzzi and Scott Speed both on the grid as well. And he is the man starting on pole position. We can now hear from Alejandro Agag, the boss of Formula E, and Nicky's also got hold of Sir Richard Branson.
Well, Sir Richard Branson, it's an honour to have you here, the very first Formula E race. What are your first impressions?
It's absolutely delightful, exciting. I think it is the future. The whole world should be run on clean energy. This is fast, very, very fast clean energy. It's showing the car manufacturers what they should be doing, yeah, it's going to be great fun, really exciting.
And have you been given any words of encouragement to the boys?
I don't think they need too much words of encouragement. Sam is third on the grid. He's second in the championship. He does not want to end up third in the race, so he'll either be second or first, or he'll be knocked out of the race. So it should be exciting.
Well, enjoy. Thank you very much. Now, Alejandro Agag, CEO, we're in this amazing, charismatic metropolis of Miami. I mean, what a place. We're really putting sustainability on the map.
Well, we're trying definitely, and thanks to Sir Richard for being here, thanks to all the teams and the city of Miami, the mayor, everyone who helped so much. We made it. We're here in Miami, first of many, we hope, and amazing atmosphere.
I mean, the first street race here was in '84, and it kind of changed the image of Miami. Do you think Formula E is going to do the same again?
Well, I think this city is changing so much. It's a city that was completely different in the '80s than now. That's Formula E. Before they were racing with fuel, now they're racing with electricity in Miami. So I think that's a great symbol.
Well, thank you very much to both of you.
Thank you.
Great to have Sir Richard Branson here, and his Virgin cars are starting in second place on the grid. Sam Bird, the man who's second in the championship, is starting, in third place on the grid in his Virgin car, so he could be the championship leader by the time we get to the end of play today. So Formula E is brand new to the United States of America. There's a look at the MacArthur Causeway that heads out to South Beach and that wonderful part of Miami. But as we're new here, we thought we'd get some locals to give you the lowdown on this new FIA Formula E Championship. Just a few minutes away now from the start of Formula E Miami, the start of Formula E USA, and the start of the 5th round of this season's championship. Dario Franchitti has made his way up from the grid to the commentary box and is alongside me now. And Dario, it looked pretty busy down there.
It's very busy, but great atmosphere too. Great atmosphere, and saw a bunch of old friends. But everybody's buzzing, everybody's ready for the race. It's going to be a good one.
So let's hear now from Emerson Fittipaldi, the Brazilian world champion, is down on the grid.
Racing legend Emerson Fittipaldi, great to have you here. You've been to a couple of the races so far. You're obviously a big supporter of Formula E.
I think I'm a big supporter of Formula E, and today is a historical day. First time a Formula E is racing in America. It's big. We have to keep this date for the history of motorsport. The new type of racing for the young people, for the new generation. I'm very happy, very proud to be here, and congratulations for the organization, Alejandro, to put this fantastic championship.
So have you got a bit of a favourite? Which team are you supporting?
Well, for sure I'm supporter of the Brazilian drivers. I just talked to Nelson, Bruno and Lucas. We have 3 Brazilians.
I think that's the most.
They have to win.
So you've got chances, you've got some good odds there.
They have to win, they are very talented, and we are supporting them 100%.
Well, thank you very much. Enjoy the day.
And we have famous names on the grid, the likes of your Prosts and your Piquets and your Sennas, and I wonder if we'll have a little Pietro Fittipaldi on the Formula E grid one day. Here's a look at the championship standings as we come into round 5. Lucas Di Grassi is the man at the top of the championship, 10 points clear of Sam Bird in 2nd place. Sebastian Buemi is 3rd in the standings. Nico Prost is 4th, with Nelson Piquet Jr. in 5th position. But it's Sam Bird who will be starting 3rd on the grid, and so he's the man really in the prime position to make some moves up that championship table. Further down, you've got the likes of Nick Heidfeld, who has led 2 races. Admittedly, one of them he led it upside down in the air, but nevertheless he's led 2 races this season but only picked up 5 points. And that story for Nick Heidfeld continues with the Venturi team. They're bottom of the championship standings in terms of teams, despite their pace, only picking up 8 points. Trulli have got a new driver this weekend in Tonio Liuzzi, so it'll be interesting to see whether he can find them some more points, but it's e.dams-Renault who are top of the championship standings. So the grid is being cleared. This is the dummy grid. The cars will then make their way around 2 corners to get to the start grid. And that is where the 5 red lights will come on, and then we will go green in Miami. A great helicopter shot looking down. That's the basketball arena on the right-hand side, the American Airlines arena on the left-hand side. You've got the pit lane. That is the Emotion Club, where the VIPs get to watch the action, and also, most importantly of all, that is the finish line. They'll start around the other side of the track, but that is the finish line. Effectively, if you want to think of it like this, it's 38.5 laps, but it's 39 laps the race distance in total. The grid girls make their way off the grid. There's Peter McCool in the Amlin shirt with his head on his headphones to try and keep track of the Amlin Aguri, who of course won the last round in Buenos Aires, but Antonio Felix da Costa will be starting down in 16th position on the grid, and his teammate Salvador Duran up in 12th position. So a good qualifying session from Duran, but we'll be going down the grid in a little bit more detail in a few moments time. But as everyone makes their way off the grid, we are almost ready to go racing in Miami. Just minutes away from round 5 of this brand new FIA Formula E Championship. We've been to China, Malaysia, Uruguay, Argentina, but now we're here in Miami. On the left-hand side is the home of the Miami Marlins baseball team. There below you can see the Miami Heat basketball arena, and it is around that this Formula E race will take place. 39 laps around this 2.2 kilometer circuit, and hopefully, if it's anything as exciting as the previous Formula E races, we are going to be in for a treat. So the man on pole position is Jean-Eric Verne on the right-hand side there. He took pole position in Uruguay in his first ever race, and he's taken it again today, and he is the man who has fan boost. Second on the grid, Nico Prost in the blue and yellow e.dams car, yet to win a race this season, but he is looking good in the championship standings in 4th place. The man in second in the standings is there, Sam Bird. He'll be starting 3rd for Virgin with Sir Richard Branson watching over him. Daniel Abt has out-qualified Lucas de Grassi once again this season. He'll be hoping he doesn't have any car problems because they have haunted him so far this year. Stefan Sarazan, best qualifying of the season for him, in 5th place. Championship leader Lucas de Grassi, Audi Sport App squad, just in front of Nelson Piquet Jr., who qualified penalty, carried over for ignoring yellow flags. Jerome D'Ambrosio, Jaime Alguersuari again. Scott Speed, new to Formula E, he did the test in Dorrit. 11th is another newcomer. Tonio Liuzzi, the former Grand Prix driver, is racing for the Trulli team. Then it's his debut at the end of last year, Jarno Trulli and his eponymous team. Alongside him, another man with fan boost, Bruno Senna. His qualifying not as disappointed as his teammate Karun Chandhok, who will be last on the grid. Antonio Felix da Costa, race winner last time out in Buenos Aires, starts 16th. 17th is Charles Pic, making his return to the championship, this time with the China Racing squad. Another new man, former Le Mans winner Loic Duval, will start in 18th position on the grid. 19th was Nick Heidfeld. He used too much power in qualifying, so was sent to the back of the grid. And the same is true of Karun Chandhok, who will start in 20th and last position on the grid for round 5 of the FIA Formula E Championship. The cars are going to be pulling away any moment to make their way around to the start grid, and the tension is starting to rise. There's the 15-second board, the onboard view from Daniel Abt. The run down towards turn 1, it's long into a tight left-hander.
The one thing they've got here compared to some of the other races, they've got a little bit longer, a couple of corners to actually get some temperature into the brakes, because otherwise they've been running down with these carbon brakes, being cold into turn 1. They've got a chance to get just a little bit of heat in them today. It might make turn 1 a little bit more sedate. I think sedate is probably the wrong word because it does funnel down there, and I expect fireworks through the first couple of corners today.
So the cars start to make their way around. A few other housekeeping bits and bobs. 63 seconds is the minimum pit stop time. So when the drivers come in to change cars, they have to be from pit in to pit out 63 seconds. And we've seen people coming a cropper for that over the past couple of races. And that is somewhere where you can make big grounds, but also cost yourself the race.
Yeah, absolutely. But there is a minimum speed in pit lane too. You can't sort of pull out and then slow the whole train up to make that thing. There is a minimum speed in pit lane to avoid that. And guys have been caught for all kinds of infringement. You put rules in there, these guys are looking for ways to circumvent them, and the officials are absolutely on top of everything.
The grandstands are sold out, the banking is getting full as anticipation builds ahead of the first race in Miami downtown since 2003.
You see they're going painfully slowly here on this part lap round to the grid. They don't want to use any more energy than they have to. Energy is critical, energy saving is critical, as it is with any race, but they're going to go as slow as humanly possible onto that grid.
Not a bad place to watch from. A very nice view over the top of the grid as the cars begin to line up down there. Jean-Eric Verne pulling into his pole position slot just below there in the white and blue Andretti car. Alongside him on the front row of the grid is that man's car, the e.dams squad, the blue and yellow machine of Nico Prost. Sam Bird starts 3rd for Virgin. The Englishman there in the silver and purple car, with Daniel Abt behind in the red Abt machine. Stefan Sarazan and Lucas de Grassi follow on from them. We're just waiting for Karun Chandhok to line up in last position on the grid, and then we will have green flag from the back and the racing will be getting underway. There is Karun Chandhok. 39 laps of racing are waiting for us. Round 5 of the championship. The cars are on the grid. Everyone's in position now.
The heart rates are just starting to go up.
And that's just me. Here come the lights. The 5th round of the Formula E Championship about to get underway. All the lights are on, and we go green in Miami. Good start from Verne. Good start as well from Sam Bird. He might be able to challenge on the run down into turn 1, but it's Verne who has the lead. It's 3 wide for 2nd place. Sam Bird looking to the inside of Nico Prost, and there's contact there. Verne, can he get it stopped in time? Just about. He was clouted on the back from Nico Prost, but I think Prost will hold on to that 2nd place for the time being. On board we go with Daniel Abt, and Prost does hold on to 2nd. Bird 3rd, Abt 4th as they fly around underneath the MacArthur Causeway, then up towards the right-hander at Museum Park, turn number 4, and then back out onto the long Biscayne boulevard once again, but everyone's made a nice clean start, have they? Loic Duval's getting pretty feisty, trying to force his way past Antonio Felix da Costa. Here comes Sam Bird, looking to the inside line. We've got side-by-side further up, and Bird goes through. Sam Bird takes second position, away from Nico Prost, the Englishman up to second. There was a move going on further back, I think it was one of the Amlin Aguri cars, but great move from Bird, but Jean-Eric Vergne is leading the way, Dario.
I see Bird now trying to chase down Jean-Eric Vergne. Great move on the first lap there. They're still too wide further back in the field here. I think we're going to see that all day long.
So you can see the order on the left-hand side. Charles Pic has had a spin, and just trying to figure out where that is. I think that's turn 5, isn't it? Yeah, he's gone too deep at turn 5. Yellow flag comes out briefly, but he's back underway. So Vergne, Bird, Prost, App, Sarrazin, De Grassi, Piquet Jr., D'Ambrosio, Speed, and Duran, the top 10. The big losers there, no one really sticks out. It was a pretty line astern on the way down, and look at that, a bit of a dart being made further back from Scott Speed as he tries to get past the car in front.
Yeah, Speed's defending a little bit there into turn 1.
Yep, that was Tim battling Jerome D'Ambrosio, because he's got Salvador Duran right up behind him, the Mexican driver trying to fight away past.
He's got the fan boost as well, just kept in his pocket. Both cars, he's got it just there, just for when he needs it. Looks like Karun Chandok's lining up a move here further back.
Here comes Salvador Duran. Is he going to get that stop? Side by side through the corner they come. Who comes out on top? It's still side by side, but I think Scott Speed is going to be in front of Duran just about. Now up into the right-hander, the final corner on the circuit. Duran gets the cutback, but that is a permanent yellow flag zone at this corner, because that's where pit lane exit is. There'll be no overtaking into that corner for the whole race, but it's not really an overtaking opportunity.
It is too tight there, and then we see them go over the train tracks and coming up to turn 8. Yeah, everybody's behaving themselves so far. Everybody's probably still using full power, and then it's going to start splitting as people start doing more and more regen, that kind of thing. Duran's on fan boost.
Yeah, so here comes Salvador Duran using his fan boost. Looks to the outside of Scott Speed. Speed knew he had to defend there, and that is Duran's chance to use that 30 kilowatts gone. Speed just about keeps it out the barriers, but he's becoming a bit of a moving roadblock at the moment, because everyone else is starting to get queued up behind him. And there's a yellow flag out there somewhere on the circuit.
Turn 6 yellow flag.
Okay, so
that's gone again.
Okay, so that was someone just running wide. Hopefully we'll try and pick up what happened there. But here's Jean-Eric Vergne. Fastest man on that last lap was Sam Bird, the man in second position. There you can see a 1 minute 10.746 as Sebastian Buemi tries to make up some places, as does Antonio Felix da Costa. So very, very busy in these opening laps. That yellow flag, I'm not quite sure what it was for, because I think everyone's still in the queue. Nico Prost has just set the fastest lap time of anyone. There's only 1.5 seconds between the top 3, but now I think we're going to sort of settle down a little bit into a bit of a rhythm. And there you can see, we'll also see the percentage there. That is the usable energy remaining. If you look at your phone, that's the percentage that tells you before your phone's going to die. So they're all on sort of similar amounts at the moment. Nelson Piquet Jr. is doing quite a good job in 7th place of preserving that energy.
Which he did in the previous races too, didn't he? He's been very, very good at that.
Yeah. And
the trick is to use it when it counts.
Yeah. And Nico Prost is using it quite hard in these early stages, in 3rd place at the moment, but setting the fastest lap of anyone. It was all quite close coming through there. Didn't quite catch who that battle was between. That was sort of Alguersuari, Duran sort of territory.
Yeah, and Speed's still holding them up. So, yeah, and Lewis, he's out there pretty close there too.
But I tell you what, Jean-Eric Vergne's going defensive into the left-hander of turn 5, because he has got Sam Bird right up behind him. We saw Sam Bird move past Oriol Servia and take the lead of the race in Malaysia with a nicely executed move, and Jean-Eric Vergne is feeling the pressure now.
Sam's got to be careful doing that, though. If he overlaps like that, we'll have a situation as we had in, I believe, Uruguay, where one guy forced another into the wall.
Yeah.
He does look a good bit quicker here. Jean-Eric Vergne's job here right now is to stay in the lead using the minimum amount of power. So, again, when he's under attack, he can use it. But Sam looks very strong.
Yeah, Bird was half a second. See there on that last lap than Jean-Eric Vergne in front of him. Lucas de
got past Salvador Duran.
Here's a look at the start, and Vergne immediately chopped across. It wasn't a good start from Nico Prost, and he had Sam Bird on the inside line, but look at going into turn 1. Prost hits Jean-Eric Vergne. Don't quite see it from that angle, but you will from here. Jean-Eric Vergne leading the way, but Prost leaves his braking too late, taps Vergne. Vergne gets all out of shape, but somehow they managed to survive and get round there. Bird will be frustrated. He couldn't make the most of that, but he did get past in the end.
That was well held by Vergne there.
And we'll see a great shot here on board with, and Bruno Senna's using his fan boost at the moment, but we will just stick with this with Daniel Abt because he got a great start, but this is where it tightens and he had to back out of it. But, so maybe everyone just hit everyone.
Look how close they are there, and he can't see where the tip of that nose is. We're a good bit higher than him, probably a foot higher. We still can't see where the tip of the nose is.
A little bit further back in the pack.
This is my favourite camera.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? So it's behind Lucas de Grassi. So this is the onboard, I think, from Jaime Alguersuari, Nelson Piquet. So this is Nelson Piquet Jr.'s onboard coming down into the first corner. And he really has to back out of it. And he actually kept his nose pretty clean there. Didn't get too close. Oh, until now. Goodness. Then he tries to stick it around the outside of de Grassi. And then this is, again, further back in the field.
Nick Heidfeld,
yeah. Nick Heidfeld's on board. He started 19th on the grid, so that's Charles Pic up in front of him. Didn't get a great start. You can see Karun Chandok there is on the right-hand side, and he's went barreling in to try and make up positions in that first corner. Heidfeld sticks his nose in.
The frustrating point is here, there's nowhere to go. You can make a great start, eventually there's nowhere to go unless you want to do something that's very marginal. Then you end up losing a wing, or even ending up, taking a corner off or something. So it's easy for us to say, but when the adrenaline's flowing, it's much more difficult to do.
So, back to the racing. Jean-Eric Verne is leading the way still. Half a second clear of Sam Bird in front of him. There's a great big battle going on here. Bruno Senna just set the fastest lap of the race on that last lap, but he did use the fan boost. We saw that pop up whilst we were watching the replays. He's currently running in 13th place, Senna, trying to get past Sebastian Buemi in front of him. But here's our race leader, Jean-Eric Verne, and he's used a reasonable amount less more energy than the guys behind him, and we saw that in Uruguay. He was very, very hard on his energy consumption.
Absolutely, speed's looking pretty good right now, but Bird and Prost, yeah, you've got to say they're in a slightly better position. Jean-Eric Verne has the fan boost, but if he uses it, it's going to use more power, so he's kind of put himself in a position here.
That's Jerome D'Ambrosio running in 8th place with Scott Speed behind in 9th position, so that Speed has started to get a little bit back on the pace, I think, and close in on the guys in front of him, because for a while there it looked like he was a little bit further back, but he's running in 9th place. Loic Duval has just set the fastest lap of the race and closed into the back of Bruno Senna. That's impressive from Duval because he doesn't have a fan boost, so he's just using all his natural speed. But look how close it is.
Yeah, he's looks like he's just thinking, okay, you're starting to hold me up here. Time to set up for a pass.
Down Biscayne Boulevard once more towards turn number 5.
As soon as he sets up for a move, you're going to see Verne look in the mirror and go, and hit the fan boost.
Yeah, absolutely, that's very true. So we're on board with Stefan Sarazan looking back at the man behind him, which is Lucas de Grassi, the championship leader, in 6th position as they burst back out into the Florida sunshine to start lap 9 of 39. There you can see the readout on the right-hand side. So the right-hand tower is the power usage. You can see he's just using less than 150, more like 140 kilowatts of power. And then in the middle, it's the usable energy he's got remaining, which at the moment is 57%.
He's maximum regen on the braking there for turn 8, which is not a particularly heavy braking zone, so he's definitely got the regen turned up in that thing.
And the regen is similar to the Formula 1 system, where you can recover the energy that would normally be lost under braking back into your battery. So it's an important part of Formula E. We're on lap 9 of 39 here. Jean-Eric Verne leading the way, but he's still just in front of Sam Bird. And I presume if you're Sam Bird, what you're trying to do is force him into using a fan boost and then take it from there.
Yeah, you're forcing him into using any amount of power you can, and if you do get to use a fan boost, you're thinking, okay, that's one down. He's got to use a fan boost in this car in the first half of the race, though. So it ultimately comes out of momentum as well. You've got to keep the momentum up, and I think Sam is probably doing a better job. Oh, a bit of a look
Loic Duval, yeah, that was Loic Duval trying to get past Bruno Senna in the battle over 13th place, but he's not quite close enough. Tonio Liuzzi is starting to hold up Salvador Duran behind, so they've swapped places, hadn't they, earlier on, whilst they were battling behind Scott Speed, and I think that's what's allowed Speed to get away a little bit, because Liuzzi is holding up Duran. But there are our top 2 again, and great to see a packed grandstand here in Miami as the cars come across the line. There you can see Verne still has used slightly more energy than the other guys, but not notably more. But we'll have to wait and see how it pans out in the remainder of the race as we go on to lap 10 of 39. After this, we go to Long Beach over in LA in April. Then it's a trip to Monaco, Berlin, Moscow, and then a double header in London at the end of June to complete this first season. There's Charles Pic after his moment. He's a back marker, but this is the race leading battle coming down towards turn 5 now, and Sam Bird, he's not letting him go. It's going to be a relentless pace up at the front, and these races always seem the tougher ones. If you've got a bit of a cushion, you can relax, but this is just non-stop.
Yeah, Sam is going to keep the pressure on all day long if he can. He's going to absolutely push Jean-Eric Vergne as much as he possibly can to put in any mistake, to use as much power. And as it gets closer to the end of the run, and this car, they know how much usable power they've got, I think business is going to pick up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what we tend to see in these Formula E races, is that the first half is a little calmer, but then when you know where you are and what you can do in the second half of the race, everyone goes on the full attack. They need to be also careful because if Charles Pic could come into this lead battle a little bit.
Yeah, if they catch him in the wrong side part of the track and he's not looking in his mirrors, absolutely. Got to watch for battery temps. It is warm out there. I know we're sitting in a air-conditioned commentary booth, which is very pleasant.
It's very rare.
Yeah, exactly. It's really hot out there, and so the battery temp.
Oh, here's Loic Duval trying to get past Senna on the run down into turn 1. He's got up alongside, but he'll be on the outside line for the next 2 corners, and he can't quite get past, and he needs to be careful because Antonio Felix da Costa is right behind him.
And what we've seen here is you make a move sometimes, you end up losing more places. You end up losing 2 or 3 spots rather than gaining 1. And Senna really helped him there because Loic kind of put the nose in, but not quite. And Senna obviously was very heads up, saw him and gave him the room.
You can hear there the lift and coast that Loic Duval's doing. It's when the engine note goes away and sort of feathers a little bit. Let's listen for it here coming into this corner.
Yeah, look, he's coasting.
You hear the sort of engine noise sort of go to a whisper without actually being on fully braking, and you can also see in the bottom right that regen thing that's flashing green. That shows you when he's using the regenerative braking.
Duval is very experienced in managing energy with the WEC, with driving with Audi, and he's doing a really good job there. But he can't go anywhere, so he might as well just be regen and just sitting there.
Oh, he's got a good run here though.
He has. He's doing a really good job actually. Really impressive.
Down he comes towards the first corner. This is where he tried to attack Senna last time around. Senna's not going to give him any room at all. There's an attack going up on in front, and that is Antonio Liuzzi losing out to Sebastian Buemi. So Buemi goes through up into 11th place past Antonio Liuzzi, and now Buemi can set about trying to get a little bit further up the order, because at the moment he's outside the points and he's 3rd in the championship. Meanwhile, Lucas de Grassi, the championship leader, is in 6th spot.
Wemby's having a tough time. I expected him to come through the field a little bit quicker, but you know, he's still got a good bit to go, 27 laps.
So there is Loic Duval, 2013 World Endurance Champion, 2013 Le Mans winner as well with Alan McNish and Tom Christensen in the Audi. And look, they're all just half-hearted looking at moves every single corner almost, except this one, because this corner is under constant yellow flags because it's very narrow on the exit, and you've got the pit lane exit there. But there's Jay Penske, the man in charge of the Dragon Racing team, watching on as his man Loic Duval tries to make up some positions in that black and silver car.
Liuzzi, driving the Trulli car, has a Trulli frame behind him.
Maybe it's a prerequisite of being a driver there. But let's see what Senna can do now, because he's the next man to try and challenge Antonio Liuzzi, coming down into the left-hander. He's not quite close enough. The gap at the front is still half a second, and then 7/10 of a second back to Prost. So that is as you were at the moment. There they are, coming down into turn 5. But Sam Bird is good at this. He's very patient, and he really, as we saw in Malaysia with his win there, he works the battery so well.
He did really well in Malaysia, I thought. He made a mistake in Punta del Este that he owned up to. But as I've said it many times, I like the style which Sam drives a car there. I have to say, Charles Pic is doing a great job to stay ahead of these guys.
Yeah,
they're now just catching him. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, that's very true.
We don't know how much battery he's using, because clearly he's lap behind, so he's not in the running. He might just want to turn up the wick and show what he can do.
So this is the run down where they started along the start straight. There is Charles Pic moving out of the way on the run down into the 90-degree left-hander. Bird, he was a bit out of shape there, wasn't he, on the brakes? He was, and Jan Lab just got held up a little bit as well by Charles Pic. So this is where it loops around under MacArthur Causeway, which is the main road that takes you out to Miami Beach. Then turn right here, which is in front of the museum and Museum Park tube station, or monorail station I should say, back down Biscayne Boulevard, and towards the left-hand turn, and look at this. It's fantastic to see so many people, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Miami's a city that loves racing, and a load of people have showed up today for this.
And then back around towards the right-hander. And interesting, that's where the pit boards are going out, just on the left-hand side as we look at it, on the run down towards the final corner. So they have to find somewhere to actually hang the pit boards out because of these street circuits. It can be quite difficult to find somewhere particularly appropriate. Buemi's past Duran and up into 10th place now. So that's happened out on the lap somewhere. Here comes Loic Duval on the attack again, but he's unable to get past Tonio Liuzzi because that was the yellow flag corner. But watch out for Duval, I'd say, going down that back straight.
He's looking now, too far back.
Through the kink and in front of Freedom Tower there on the left-hand side, built in 1925 as the headquarters of the Miami newspaper.
He's got a good run here, hasn't he? Let's see how much, you see how much he's going to get blocked by Liuzzi. Yeah, Liuzzi's defending. Nah, not quite enough. No. He's not really risking anything yet, is he?
No, well, we're only on lap 15 of 39. We're approaching the sort of halfway mark. Daniel Abt has just set the fastest middle sector of anyone. I love this bit as they come sort of under the underpass. It's really cool.
That one corner, that 2-3 has become one corner as the speeds have picked up. I like that. That's the kind of corner I would enjoy driving there.
Look at Tonio Liuzzi looking in his mirrors, trying to look to the right-hand side as he tries to keep an eye out on where Loic Duval is. Tonio Liuzzi was pretty much on holiday in Miami, and then he suddenly got a call up from Jarno Trulli saying, "Oh, seeing as you're here, do you want to drive this weekend?" And he said, "Well, I haven't got a helmet." Trulli said, "I'll lend you a helmet." And so they've had to paint it this morning.
Duval
tries to get past, but this is the yellow flag corner, so he's not quite able to get through.
I think Liuzzi's done a great job.
Yeah,
he really has. And so has Scott Speed. You know, the minimal experience have jumped straight in, got on with it, and Duval's picked it up very quick. The qualifying wasn't good for him. Da Costa looks quite close now. He's going to start putting some pressure on here.
Yeah, and then you've got to start looking both forward and backward. What's going here? This is Bruno Senna going past Salvador Duran.
Nice move there by Bruno.
Coming down into the left-hander, and that is 11th place now for Bruno Senna. Tonio Liuzzi going defensive into turn number 1 again. Loic Duval right up behind him, but the top 9 cars are covered by 6 seconds. Then there's a bit of a gap back. Look at this. Vern's got 19% of usable energy remaining. So he's not too much out of the game. If anything, it's Nico Prost who has the most remaining in that sort of top 6.
It's been that consistent 2% difference, hasn't it, really, between them? And will that become an issue? That's the problem. How tight are they going to cut it here as it comes to pit stop time?
We'll have to wait and see. Here comes Duval on the attack. That's a lovely, decisive move into the final corner.
Yeah. He's been looking at that for the past 5 laps, hasn't he? And he just screwed up his courage there. Lovely move.
Yeah, that was really good from Loic Duval. He moves up now into 13th position, and Liuzzi's got an awful lot of usable energy that he has used. But look at this, inside.
Great move. Watch him disappear now. Watch him drive off down the road.
Yep, he's going to be up on the back of Salvador Duran before too long. A very early move, and slides past at the inside. Karun Chandok's under investigation, we're being told by race control. Not 100% sure why, but we'll try and find out. But here are our race leaders still. Jean-Eric Verne under relentless pressure from Sam Bird. And there's the focus of a man who knows all about pressure as the two lock up, both of them coming into turn 5. This is non-stop up at the front.
I think Sam looks like he can get close whenever he wants to.
Yeah.
He can close that gap down, which bodes very well for him in the second part. You know, Verne has not used the pat boost yet, has he?
No.
He's still got it sitting there, but again, that's going to use extra power. He's probably not, doesn't feel the need to use it at this point. 17
laps down, 22 laps to go, so I predict we have a couple more laps before they start to come in to the pit lane. Sebastian Buemi on that last lap set the fastest lap of anyone because he's in clear air now, 6 seconds behind the man in front who is Scott Speed, and there you can see 1 minute 8.835. So Buemi is really starting to turn the wick up.
As soon as we have a race with no cautions and with no safety cars, it then becomes an issue with really managing the power.
Oh, lock up from Jean-Eric Verne again. He's the man leading this race in that blue and white Andretti car. Andretti Sports Marketing, the sister arm of Autosport, have put on this event here, and he's the man leading the way. Behind him in the silver, purple and red machine is the Virgin car of Sam Bird, and then third in that blue and yellow car
as they're coming up to these
pit stops. Sarrazin hit the wall. He's made a mistake coming out of turn 5. Pulls to the inside line to try and defend from Lucas di Grassi.
As he hit.
He certainly looked very, very slow coming out of turn number 5. Not quite sure if the car's crabbing, but a mistake was made, and that has allowed Sarrazin to put...
We've seen how fast these guys can drive the cars when they've bashed them off the wall and they're crabbing. It's been every round so far we've seen it. Has he seen it? I can't see the side of the car there to see if he has actually damaged it. But as I was saying, as the pit stops come, Verne is going to try everything now to gap.
Oh, here's the attack from Sam Bird, almost side by side coming down to the first corner. That's exactly what you mentioned earlier. Trying to get that overlap on the outside, and you end up in the wall, and here's an attack from Bird. There's contact between them. So it's getting really, really feisty now for the lead of the race. Lap 19 of 39. Bird is pushing. Not too much damage on the nose cone there, but there was almost certainly contact. Trying to hear the Verne radio there, but it's not quite working out. Here comes Bird. He's got alongside, and he's going to take the lead of the race. Up the inside into turn 5. Sam Bird leads. Verne will try and get the cutback.
I didn't get your energy rating.
So down they come into the final corner, and Verne pits. So Verne decides to go straight into the pits. Clever, because
0.9.
Because that is Sam Bird giving his energy reading as he's trying to overtake.
That's low. I mean, he might have to do a little bit of management.
4%, 3% remaining.
Yeah, that could be an issue.
Oh, goodness me. Here's a look at the replay. He just...
Beautiful pass, though.
Yeah, got out there early.
Verne tried to muscle him a little bit. Sam was having none of it.
So you can see they came out of the corner, and Bird just made the move early, and Verne realised he couldn't get across in time.
Nope. And nice, decisive pass there.
Really good. But that's what we've seen from Bird. We saw it in Malaysia. When the time comes to make the move, he makes the move. So we've got Verne, Abt, Sarrazin, De Grassi, D'Ambrosio, Buemi, Senna, Duran, Alguersuari and Chanduk all in the pits. And that...
Birds.
Is that Bird? Oh, it's a Virgin going slowish, but maybe it's Alguersuari. Yeah, Alguersuari's in the pits. So Sam Bird has run into problems out there. Something's gone wrong with Sam Bird. Has he got too little usable energy?
They've messed the strategy. It looks like they've messed the strategy.
Maybe he was meant to come into the pits on that lap, but he was so busy trying to overtake.
0.1.
0.1%. So that is a disaster for Sam Bird. Prost is out there running very low, but he's just made it back to the pits. So Sam Bird presumably was meant to come in on that lap, got so busy trying to make an overtake.
And Piquet has 9% left.
Goodness me. So Nelson Piquet Jr. this has worked out very well for. So out of the pits has gone Daniel Abt and Lucas de Grassi and the like, but that is a disaster for Sam Bird. Took the lead of the race so decisively, but now he's run out of his usable energy in that car. Hopefully he hasn't gone over the limit. We'll have to try and get Nicky to find out if that's the case. In comes Loic Duval, but Nelson Piquet Jr. is still out there. That's the impressive part of this race so far.
And he's going to have to do less laps than everybody else, therefore could turn up the wick a little bit.
So, was this a very nice move from Nelson Piquet Jr.? We'll have to wait and see. So he's currently in the lead of the race. Nick Heidfeld hasn't pitted either at the moment. There is Piquet Jr. heading down the back straight as Scott Speed waits to head out of the pits. And there is Sam Bird.
I heard an exclamation from Michael Andretti. It didn't sound a positive one either as Scott Speed exited the pits.
Piquet Jr. So here's a look then. Let's try and figure out what's happened. So the two Abt cars are in front of Jean-Eric Verne. Oh, just coming out of the pit lane there, side by side. We'll see what happened. Verne out just in front of Scott Speed, but the two Abt cars are in front. I think Nico Prost is in front of them, but we'll try and... Prost is in the middle of the two Abt cars. So Daniel Abt is ahead of Prost, who's ahead of De Grassi, who's ahead of Verne, with Nelson Piquet Jr. and Nick Heidfeld yet to pit. So at the moment, it's a net lead of the race, I believe, for Daniel Abt, depending on what happens with Piquet, who's in the pit lane now.
That's Charles
Peak, sorry.
Yeah.
But he is. It's still true, but he's just over the other side of the garage. So that's Charles Peak, who's a lap down. Doesn't matter. Over on the right-hand side, it's Nelson Piquet Jr.
We're following the guy that's a lap down.
But it's all right. He's still got to do his stop. But here's Daniel Abt then. The battle is between Daniel Abt and Nelson Piquet Jr. to come out in the lead of the race, into the left-hander of turn 5.
Look as they come up to turn 7 here. That's the point. Who's going to get to the exit of turn 7 first?
Into the right-hander comes Daniel Abt. Has Nelson Piquet Jr. left the pit lane yet? Yes, there he goes. I think Apt's going to lead this.
I do. Yeah, agreed.
Into the right-hander comes Daniel Abt, and he moves into what should be the lead of the race. But Nick Heidfeld is still out there and is yet to pit. So
I hope he's pitted because he was at 0% there.
Oh, right, okay. Well, he's still out on the circuit and hasn't made his pit stop yet. So Nick Heidfeld is still on the circuit. So there's Sam Bird. He is now right up behind. Is that Nelson Piquet Jr., I think? who's just come out of the pit lane. They go side by side. Yes, it is. Bird on the attack, trying to get past Nelson Piquet Jr. in the battle over what is now 8th place.
Karun Chandok has a penalty, drive-through penalty, just to make his day worse. He's not having a good day.
No, and that's for using maximum power. Here's Heidfeld in the pits. So it'll be Daniel Abt or Nick Heidfeld who is leading this Miami E-Prix at the end of this pit stop window. 17 laps to go. There's our race leaders at the moment. Daniel Abt, Nico Prost, Lucas de Grassi, Jean-Eric Vergne, Scott Speed. Brilliant performance from Speed. But where is Nick Heidfeld going to come out in all of this? I think he'll be further back because he started in 19th on the grid, but he might be able to get himself up solidly inside the top 10. Yes, so through goes Daniel Abt into the lead of the race. 2nd place is Nico Prost, 3rd is Lucas de Grassi, 4th is Jean-Eric Vergne, 5th is Scott Speed, 6th is Jerome D'Ambrosio, 7th is Sam Bird, and then 8th is Nelson Piquet Jr., and then it's Sebastian Buemi. So out goes Heidfeld. He hasn't gained that much. There's the two Amlin Aguri cars coming through the right-hander.
Oh, Sam Bird doesn't have the fan boost, but I think he'll be powered by red mist now. Yeah. After that mess up.
Absolutely. He's just done the fastest first sector of anyone, as if to prove the point. So that is Stefan Sarazam, who's in 19th place. But here's our race leader, Daniel Abt, for the Abt Sport team. Right behind him is Nico Prost. But Abt has used quite a lot of usable energy already. Prost has got a good 6% more.
Prost and Speed look in good shape here, don't they?
Yeah, so now this second half of the race is going to get very interesting because the first half, to a certain extent...
But look at Piquet Jr., it's 92%.
Yeah, that's very true. But he's 9th place and not on the back of this gang.
That'll take some doing. Yeah, I don't care how much power you've got.
Yeah.
Unless there's a safety car now.
Salvador Duran has just set the fastest first sector of anyone. And we go on board now with Scott Speed, 85% of his usable energy remaining. You can see the power on the right-hand side. He's using about 140 kilowatts at the moment. Using the regen as he comes under the braking for the right-hander of Freedom Tower. Shifting up through the gears. Right up behind his teammate Jean-Eric Vergne. And I think if he follows Jean-Eric Vergne home, that would be a very satisfactory day for Scott Speed.
Yeah, but he's a racing driver. The first thing he wants to do is beat his teammate.
Yeah, that's very true. So Jean-Eric Vergne running in 4th place. His teammate Scott Speed in 5th. Great performance from the Andretti squad, but they'll be frustrated that Vergne couldn't come out in the lead of the race.
Did you see how close Scott Speed was to the apex while they were in turn 2?
Incredible.
It's one of those ones you close your eyes and open them and think, oh, I didn't hit it.
Speed's actually pretty close to the back of Vergne as they come down towards turn 5. He's not going to... Oh, he's going for it! Speed's going for it on his teammate and he goes through! That is going to be a very annoyed Jean-Eric Vergne because he's just been passed by Scott Speed, his teammate. Down towards the right-hander they come. Vergne sticking there, but Speed is through and up into 4th position with 5% more usable energy remaining.
Yeah, if you're Scott Speed, you got to go. You clearly, got a bit in hand on your teammate.
And this isn't team orders, is it?
No, absolutely not.
Because that's he came from quite a way back there.
That's a great overtaking maneuver.
Yeah, well done. Great to have Scott Speed here in the championship, and he's up into 4th position, the American driver in Miami. And they were pretty close to each other there, and Vergne had to back out of it. Tried to get the cutback, but it didn't quite work out for him. Nelson Piquet Jr. has just set the fastest lap of anyone in his ride up behind Sebastian Buemi. That was a bit of a nervy time, I think, for Rob there.
Yeah, let's see Michael's face. You can normally tell quite a lot from Michael's face if he's happy or not, but Scott Speed's driving away.
Yeah, so
he's paying him to drive the car, he's paying him to get it. Oh, almost into the wall there for Scott Speed on the exit of 4.
So here's Daniel Abt, the race leader. Right up behind him is Nico Prost there in 2nd place, and in 3rd place it's Abt teammate Lucas de Grassi. And then 1.6 seconds further back is the American Scott Speed, trying to claw in on the German, the Frenchman, and the Brazilian up in front of him. 26 of 39, 14 laps to go here in Miami, the 5th round of the FIA Formula E Championship. There's Lucas de Grassi flashing through. And Prost is close.
Yeah, he gained 2/10 in the last lap, didn't he?
Certainly did, as they come underneath the swimming pool balcony once again, over where they started the race, which is halfway around the lap. So let's take stock. Daniel Abt leads the way. Prost in 2nd, de Grassi 3rd, Speed, Vergne, D'Ambrosio, Bird, Buemi, Piquet Jr. and Da Costa, the top 10. Bruno Senna's had to come into the pits again, so he must have a bit of a problem. Jean-Eric Verne lost the time in the pit stops. He was 7 seconds slower in the pit lane than he needed to be, and that's the race over for Bruno Senna by the looks of things. Real shame for the Mahindra team. But Jean-Eric Verne was 7 seconds slower in the pits than he needed to be, and he's 4.5 seconds off the lead of the race. And that's why it's so important.
Well, yeah, I don't get that one. Did he get held up exiting?
Don't know. We'll have to maybe, if Nikki's in that area, she can try and find out for us. But there's Daniel Abt, the race leader. And what a result this would be for Daniel Abt, because he's had a tough season so far. And that was Nico Prost coming over, giving some energy readings.
A little out of breath there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think hopefully you've not just given Daniel Abt the commentator's curse there.
Probably.
Yeah. You make the change from me doing it.
On target.
Okay, so Nico Prost is on target by the sounds of it. So he comes through the left-hander of turn 1, up onto 11th Street. Then round this double right-hand.
Holding station here, really, aren't they? Prost looks quite dangerous, you'd have to say. He's just close enough. And the great thing about this aero package on the Formula E cars, they can run really close to each other.
Yeah.
You know, they're not so aero sensitive that you start getting all the wash and all that nonsense. You can get right up close to the car in front.
Scott Speed was the man who nailed the pit lane speed time, because he was in there for 63 seconds exactly, and that's the minimum time. So that's how he went from sort of 10th all the way up to what is now 4th position.
I think that might explain Michael Andretti's exclamation that he was thinking, oh no, we've done it too quickly.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah.
But it's worked out all right in the end. Lap 28 of 39 here in Miami. 12 laps to go in the 5th Formula E race of the season. After this, we go to Long Beach, we go to Monaco, we go to Berlin, we go to Moscow, and then we finish in London around Battersea Park at the end of June. And these are our top 3 cars at the moment. It's all very calm and collected at the moment, but Nico Prost will be desperate to win a race. He's only had 1 podium finish, which was last time out in Buenos Aires, despite 2 qualifying pole positions.
I mean, looking at the Venturi guys again, a day that really, it was so much maybe expected. Now they're 15th and 18th.
Yeah, well, Sarrazin ended up with a problem as well.
Yeah,
which was a shame. And so these are the top 3 pulling away. But you're absolutely right about Venturi. It just doesn't come together. I know they say you make your own luck, but it seems to be for no luck. You know, nothing to do with their own.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, Degrassi just closed up half a second on that last lap. So it's we're looking at a 3-way fight here for the lead. And Scott Speed. Scott Speed's making some inroads there at 8.8 last lap. So he caught just over half a second on the leaders.
Yeah, that's very true. So the gap is down to just 1.2 seconds. Just trying to... we have the team radio open, basically, so if they talk, we hear it. So
Prost has got 6% more energy to use, as does Scott Speed.
Yeah, so that is true. So they are looking in a very, very strong position. That beat you hear, that sort of bloop, is them pressing the radio button, and then they either talk or they don't talk. So apologies if we talk over it sometimes, but it's really cool to have it live.
With all the buildings.
Yeah.
Sometimes as well you just cannot hear with all the buildings, and you get out of range of the radio. And yeah, trust me, the drivers on the teams will be as frustrated as we are not being able to hear.
And this is now a 4-way battle for the lead of the Miami E-Prix. You've got the 2 yellow and red cars. The Brazilians of Lucas Degrassi in 3rd. In the lead of the race is Daniel Abt. In the middle of them is the blue and yellow car of Nico Prost in 2nd place. And joining the party at the back is the American Andretti Autosport car of Scott Speed in his first ever FIA Formula E race. And he is really starting to close in now. And we saw him make that move on his teammate so convincingly.
And another 4/10 that lap.
Yeah, the gap is down to just 9/10 of a second. The top 4 covered by 2.1 seconds. So with 10 laps to go, it's really, really starting to ramp up here in Miami. Jean-Eric Verne's just done a personal best in the first. So Verne's lost out to Jerome D'Ambrosio as well. So Jerome D'Ambrosio has got him into 5th place for the Dragon team, past Jean-Eric Verne. We missed that. Sam Bird's in 7th place, Nelson Piquet Jr. 8th, Buemi and Da Costa are in 9th and 10th positions. This is the onboard view.
Nelson Piquet just the fastest lap of the race there, 7.9.
That was a very quick fastest lap, wasn't it? It didn't have a fan boost or anything, so that's really impressive from Nelson Piquet Jr. Here's a look, and now he's on the attack, going past Sam Bird for 7th place.
Remember, he went a lap longer, so he's got more energy to use in that second car, which he's using to very good effect right now.
Yeah.
There he is in the red and yellow Team China car.
And that is a big... that could be a big moment in Sam Bird's championship, because he could have taken the lead of the championship if things had, you know, if he'd have made that move, won the race. He takes the lead of the championship.
Yeah, ifs and buts, you know, but whoever's decision that was, or it was a communication issue or a radio problem, but it's cost Sam dearly.
Absolutely. So Nelson Piquet Jr. has just set the fastest first sector of anyone as well, so he's really getting on it, and he'll be right up behind Jean-Eric Verne. Well, now really, as the cars come under braking for the left-hander. There is Sam Bird, 8th place, Sebastian Buemi in 9th place. And again, Buemi hasn't been at the races today. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because we had the delays this morning or what, but he has just not been on it at all. And now we've got some backmarker action to contend with. So this could get a little bit difficult up at the front. A little look from Piquet Jr. as he tries to pass Jean-Eric Verne, but it's a battle between Liuzzi and Sarrazin over 17th position that the race leaders are coming up to the back of now.
How much is it, though, that these cars are so equal, the drivers are so equal, and it's just, they're very complex things, and when somebody just nails that setup, or not, as the case may be, you see them either up the front with a guy like Scott Speed running P4 in his first race, or a guy you would expect to be absolutely nailing it, like Al Jaswari, is P13. How much of it is just they're missing the setup? And when they miss it, well, in the middle of a race, there's nothing you can do. You can maybe adjust the tyre pressures for your second car, or small adjustments. That's it.
Let's have a look and see if Piquet Jr. has a crack going down here. Looks to the inside line. Whoa, he's gone for it. Banzai down the inside, and Piquet Jr. goes through into 6th place.
I came from about 3 days back there, didn't he?
Great move from Piquet Jr. He is on a mission now, and
there's not a happy Michael Andretti. I've seen that look before.
Yeah, a number of times.
I caused that look.
A little bit of an update from other events. Senna's suspension broke. Virgin don't think that Sam Bird exceeded the power limit in that first car, but they're not 100% sure. And Stefan Sarrazin has had a gearbox problem in his second car, so that's why he has had to come into the pits and retire from the race. So thanks to Nicky Shields for that news from the pit lane. And this is them trying to squeeze past Tonio Liuzzi. De Grassi's lost out here big time, and he might be under pressure from Scott Speed. Through the kink they come, down towards the right-hander. And Speed needs to go through and follow through, and he does.
Beautiful move. Liuzzi needed to pay more attention there, quite honestly. The leaders of the race coming up shouldn't be getting involved.
Car 23 is under investigation, which is Nick Heidfeld, so that's another kick in the teeth for the Venturi team. Not 100% sure what for, probably using too much power. And this is now D'Ambrosio trying to get past Tonio Liuzzi.
Who's a lap down?
Exactly, and so he'll be getting out of the way, but behind him will be Nelson Piquet Jr. trying to get in the fight as well and get up into 5th place. So this is a really great drive from Nelson Piquet, who, don't forget, qualified second, but had to take a 5th-place grid penalty because of the ignored yellow flags in the previous race. You see that D'Ambrosio gesticulating like a madman as he tries to get past Tonio Liuzzi, but he needs to keep an eye out because Piquet Jr. will take advantage of that gesticulation if he does it too much.
There's no reason for a guy of Liuzzi's experience to be doing what he's doing. None. There's a move there.
Yep, so that is Liuzzi getting out of the way finally. And he goes through. And so does Nelson Piquet Jr. So that has knocked them back a little bit as well, which is a shame because they were getting right up with that battle over 4th place. This is a replay of, this is going to be Alguersuari shunting with Antonio Felix da Costa. Well, they got away with it, and I think da Costa...
There's Sam.
That was Sam Bird, you're right. That was da Costa taking 9th place away from Sam Bird. My apologies. And so da Costa goes through. I think that's just Verne going past Tonio Liuzzi. Yes, it is, with Buemi trying to follow through as well. Then it's Antonio Felix da Costa in 9th. Sam Bird is in 10th place. Still.
Top 4 cars, 1.9 seconds.
Yeah, incredibly close. And
6 laps to go.
It's going to get feisty, isn't it, with 6 laps to go here in Miami. Daniel Abt leading the way. There he is. Nico Prost right behind him. Here's the attack from Scott Speed into 3rd place. Job done. Down the inside into turn 5. And another just definitive move from Scott Speed, and he's into a podium position in his first race.
With 33% power still. He's got 2% more than anybody else he's fighting. So, yeah, Scott's doing a heck of a job here.
So this is the onboard. Talk us through it, Dario.
Textbook. He's just sitting there. He's waiting for the car in front to move over to the right. He's just thinking about braking. Oh, there you go. Thank you very much. Decisive move. Lovely.
When it's that decisive, it just looks easy.
It feels easy sometimes, and other times it's bloody impossible. But that was absolutely textbook, and you can tell he's confident on the brakes, and he's just knocking them down one at a time. If you're Nico Prost, you're going to be a bit touch nervous right now.
I think that'll be making Michael Andretti a little bit happier. He's the man on the left-hand side there, as we look back to Jean-Eric Verne under pressure from Sebastian Buemi, and that must be Salvador Duran. No, Da Costa's dropped back now, I think. No, he's joined the party, hasn't he? My apologies. But look at Scott Speed. He's right up behind Nico Prost for the battle in second position. 5 laps to go, and I just missed the percentages down there, but I think Speed is still looking good. The top 3 are closing in with 5 laps left here in Miami. If we had an American win this race, it would be absolutely mega.
And you just heard him completely get off there and regen. So he's in control. He's very calm. He's saving energy, and you can see how he's doing it. Really well driven. Really well driven.
Tucked right up behind Nico Prost, down towards Freedom Tower.
Look how early he's getting off here. We'll get a good exit. Let's see if he's ready to have a go at Prost.
It seems like he's found his preferred overtaking
Energy
spot.
reading.
6-8. That's your Andretti. Yeah, that's Scott Speed.
Yeah, so just giving the energy reading as he comes under the brakes down into turn 1. He closes in so much under brakes. He's really good on the brakes.
He's good on the brakes, but he's regenning at the same time. He's as they say over here in America, and as we are in America, I can say this, he's in the catbird seat. He really is. Look how he's closing in there.
Yeah.
So, will he have a go into 5, his preferred spot? Is he going to get a good enough exit to have a go into 5? Nah, no, not that time maybe.
He was a little bit earlier on the brakes than Nico Prost, but we've seen him come from 2 or 3 days back before. Will he be close enough to do it again? Not this time, but now.
Missed the apex, and he's got the battery. He's got the battery in hand. Look at that.
Lap's only got 15% for 4 laps to go, so this is going to be tight in the final 4 laps of the race.
If I'm Abs right now, I'm thinking, oh no.
Well, 3 laps of the race, I should say. So 3 laps to go, and this is a 3-way battle for the lead of the race. And Lucas de Grassi has lost out to Jerome D'Ambrosio. Did we see that? I don't remember seeing that. But nope. D'Ambrosio's up into 4th place now. De Grassi's dropped to 5th. But it's all about this battle for the lead.
But Scott Speed's got to take advantage of that. He's got everything going for him. He's got to take advantage of it. Ab's now going to start defending, I would say, because he's low on power. He's going to have to start defending from Prost, which is going to allow Scott Speed to get into the battle.
Yeah, what a thrilling end to the race we're going to have here. 3 laps to go. That was Alain Prost, a man who has won many races over the course of his career.
This is a critical point. Scott Speed has got to get the exit out of this next corner. Let's see how he manages it. Yeah, good exit.
Yeah,
this could be a wee move coming up here.
So 3 laps to go here in Miami. On board with Scott Speed, not quite close enough to Nico Prost on the run down. Prost is going on the attack. No, he's locked up. That could compromise him coming out of this and into that right-hander. But no, again, Scott Speed not quite close enough to the back of Nico Prost. 2 laps to go now, and who is going to win this Miami E-Prix? Surely it'll be one of these 3. Daniel Abt leading the way in the Abt car. Prost in 2nd in the blue and yellow e.dams machine. And that man there, Scott Speed, 3rd in the white and blue Andretti Autosport car. Prost is looking to the inside and goes through past Daniel Abt into the lead of the race. Almost taps the wall on the outside.
Speed's got to go here.
Abt is going to be fighting back as they come down towards turn 1. Surely this will open the door for Scott Speed, but they're still going to be side by side for the lead of the race. Scott Speed is through into 2nd position. Can he get it stopped? Yes. Prost leads, Speed 2nd.
Right, this is all going Scott's way here. Absolutely, just opened up lovely there. Let's see if he's got enough. He's got to make a move soon here, because last lap, Prost is going to be looking all over his mirrors.
And we haven't seen a move there at Freedom Tower for the whole of the race, but Nico Prost has bided his time and sent it through, and Daniel Abt is having to run at a lower power now to keep his battery.
Coming. Yeah, he's coming up behind Abt here.
And Speed's still got 14% more than Nico Prost. I reckon Speed has a chance on this final lap of the race as they come down towards the right-hander. So you can hear both team radios of Scott Speed and Nico Prost. Oh, out of shape there.
Oversteered
Nico
the
Prost.
brake.
Did he hit the wall? Some debris flies up. Nico Prost might have clipped the wall.
If he did,
27-8, je suis mort.
Okay, so he's just giving some
This
more
is it.
information.
this is the moment.
Je roule doucement ou pas? Je roule doucement ou pas?
This is the moment. I think basically told him to shut up there. 'Cause
Yeah,
he was busy.
Nico Prost getting very, very
Okay,
frustrated.
Scott Speed is there. Is he close enough? No, not a close.
Not quite coming down into the left-hander.
These next 3 corners is where it's all at. He's got to set up for a move down the inside of the turn 5. Is he
1
close
kilometre of racing still to go here in Miami. Out through the right-hander of turn number 3. It's all about this
This is
right-hander
it.
of turn number 4.
enough? Prost's exits are so good though. Look, he did it again there. Brilliant exit. Let's see how brave Scott Speed's going to be.
Only 2 corners to go here in Miami. Speed surely is not going to be quite close enough. Daniel Abt is having to defend for all his worth to try and keep on the podium. Final corner. Surely Speed won't send one up the inside here. Oh, the yellow flags are out. Double yellow flags at the last turn. And that means that Nico Prost is going to take the checkered flag and win the race here in Miami. Second place across the line for Scott Speed. Daniel Abt in third. There was no checkered flag, so I don't know if they've seen the checkered flag because they're still going on it. It's been classified as a finish on the timing screens.
Checker flag.
Nico Prost
P2
is the race winner here in Miami.
The flagman was off having a beer.
He was watching the screen to see who was going to win. And they were, oh, goodness, they're coming round. So Nico Prost wins the race. Victory for e.dams. Their second win of the year. Nico Prost's first win of the year. There he is. He waves the checkered flag. Scott Speed finishing second on his debut for Andretti. That is a brilliant result for the American and wonderful to have that happen here in Miami. D'Ambrosio couldn't quite get past Daniel Abt for the final podium spot. Nelson Piquet Jr. 5th, Da Costa 6th, Duval 7th. Not quite sure how he managed that, but that's a great drive from Loic Duval to go from 18th on the grid to 7th, Bird 8th. Well, we could write a book about Bird's race. De Grassi 9th, championship leader in 9th, Salvador Duran completing the top 10. Wow. Let's have a look at the replay. So this is going to be Scott Speed. Oh, this is Prost going up the inside of Daniel Abt. Abt tried to get the cutback, almost pulled it off, but that allowed, if anything, the door to be open for Scott Speed to come through.
I think Abt was in trouble. I really do. I think he was trying to get a little bit of regen, and Scott Speed took full advantage of it. Just not enough to get Prost, but great race from Nico Prost there.
Yeah.
Well deserved win. Scott Speed 2, and finally Daniel Abt gets a podium and gets a result to his Speed has merited all season.
Well, I think we've got a podium of finalies, haven't we? Finally, Nico Prost has won a race, having led for most of the race in Beijing. Scott Speed has finally given Andretti a really strong finish in second position because apart from their second place in the first race of the season, they haven't been back on the podium since. And Daniel Abt has finally finished on the podium. A really strong performance from all 3 of those guys. Nelson Piquet Jr. Set the fastest lap of the race and as a result picks up some points for that. The cars now pull back into the pit lane at the end of what was not the all-out crash fest and craziness of Buenos Aires, but a good motor race.
Did anybody even touch the wall? I thought it was a very controlled, but a very good race.
I thought Prost was done on that, when he hit the wall on that final lap, but he got away with it. And,
this guy's done a great job. Michael Andretti was very impressed with him, and Mike's a hard guy. Oh, he wants water. He's a little thirsty. Michael's a hard guy to impress. So.
Yeah, no, a really good performance from Scott Speed, and I know we're sort of. Oh, what's happened? Oh, there's Jean-Eric Verne, so that's why the double wave yellow was out.
Now, Wemmy just had a kind of an invisible day for some reason, which is not like him. He's been from the first test we watched at Donington. He's been the guy to beat, you know.
Yeah. A very happy Daniel Abt, despite leading the race, he is very happy with that third position. And I know we've spoken a lot about Scott Speed, but this is his first race weekend in the championship, and he's finished second, and a brilliant comeback drive. But Nico Prost led for every single moment of the race in Beijing except the final corner, and now he has finally won a race in Formula E.
He had the same idea with the that's so much power in the bank, man.
He's a happy man.
But frustrated as well, because like he says, he had so much power in the bank, man. But that's the man of the moment, Nico Prost. Stunning performance from him to fight through, get the lead of the race, take the victory on the final lap.
That's
good.
good to see.
Yeah.
Great to see. Now, what we're going to see now is they're going to head to Long Beach in a couple of weeks for the partial IndyCar course. They think this place was bumpy. Wait till they get to Long Beach, one of the all-time classic street course races. That'll open their eyes, and it will be wonderful to see. But hopefully Scott Speed will continue in the Andretti car.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
He's deserved it today, absolutely.
But Nico Prost takes victory, and we'll have to wait and see. But by my mental calculations, that will take him to the top of the championship, because De Grassi only picked up 2 points for a 9th position. Bird only picked up sort of 3 or 4 points, so we'll have to wait and see for the final championship calculations in a couple of moments' time. But Nico Prost is going to be there or thereabouts. There is the e.dams driver on the right-hand side, getting ready to talk to Nikki Shields. And so let's head down to her now and hear from our race winner.
Nico Prost, a beautiful race there. Were you feeling the pressure of Scott Speed on your tail?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was really good because of the energy, and I was following Daniel, but not easy to overtake, but I thought I might have an opportunity at the end. But then I was like, wow, who's that guy behind coming back? And he was coming back strong. I was a bit lucky because I touched the wall 1 lap from the end, but I turned my way. But what a great race, really nice race.
You must be on an absolute high right now.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. Feels really good. I had a very good day. I was really happy with my quali. Then I had a really good race, so yeah, everything is perfect. My brother is here, my wife is here, everyone is here. It's nice to be with all the family.
Well, you've just become a winner in America as well, which is a first.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in America for 4 years, so I obviously love this country. So yeah, it's really nice. It's not home, but it's almost home.
Fantastic, well done. Enjoy the celebrations with your family.
So Nico Prost, the 33-year-old Frenchman, the son of 4-time world champion Alain Prost, has been an absolutely superb performance so far today. He was living over here when he was attending Columbia University, and so he knows America very well. He was also a very successful golfer whilst he was attending Columbia University. There's a little...
Was he?
Yeah.
How do you know this stuff?
You know, it's just research, Dario. You should try it.
That's what I'm going wrong. That's why you're here.
So now let's hear from Scott Speed, a 2nd place finish in his Formula E debut.
Well, Scott Speed, you said that you don't get stressed about these things, and it certainly paid off. What a race.
Yeah, it was a big learning experience. Yeah, we have a great car. Andretti has given us such a good car. Really, it makes my job a lot easier. It was a lot of fun. I learned so much out there. Unfortunately, we had the same strategy, and we both left all of our power for the last lap. So, but it was a great race. What a really fun event.
You managed the battery extremely well. I mean, how did you know to do that?
I don't know. I did what they told me to do. The guys at Andretti are really great. They're very clever guys, and they gave me a great plan, and I just stuck to the plan, and it worked out great.
I mean, winning your coming second on your debut race on your home soil, it's impressive stuff.
Thank you very much. We got some hardware, so it was a good weekend.
Thanks very much. Enjoy the celebration.
The great thing about some of these drivers is that they did Formula One, ended up looking sort of washed up, but then we get to see them actually how good they are as racing drivers, and we saw that today, especially with Scott Speed. Here's a look at the classification of the race. Nico Prost, the race winner, only 0.4 of a second clear of Scott Speed, who couldn't quite get past in the final few laps, but a great performance from Prost. 3rd, Daniel Abt. 4th, Jerome D'Ambrosio. A pretty under-the-radar drive from D'Ambrosio, but he finished in 4th place. Nelson Piquet Jr. 5th. Antonio Felix da Costa in 6th place. Good result for the Amlin Aguri squad. Loic Duval did very well to go from 18th on the grid to 7th. Bird, De Grassi and Duran the top 10. So now let's hear from our 3rd place finisher, Daniel Abt, almost getting his first race win.
Daniel Abt, you almost had a podium in the first race we had in Beijing, but now finally the time has come. How does it feel? You look exhausted, but very happy.
Yeah, it's so many emotions. You know, it's such a long time that I've been on the podium. I really had a hard time in racing the last 2.5 years, and we've been so close so many times, and finally we made it. You know, I knew we always had it, but you have to make it happen until the end. Obviously, would have been nice to finish first, but I had no chance. I had to save my energy, so I'm so happy to be 3rd. I think it was a fantastic race, and to get the first podium in Miami, there couldn't be a better place.
So did you know that they were on your tail and coming with more power?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Prost was in front of me in the first stint, and I knew he had one. He pitted 1 lap later, so he had more energy on the second run. So I knew I had to push. And the first few laps, I was always pushing, and actually was not on target. So in the end, I had to save quite a lot. And I had to really defend, but I'm still happy.
Just enough power left to keep you in the podium.
No one came so far, so I hope it's going to stay like this. No, it should be fine.
Well, you look very happy and well deserved.
Yes, he crossed the line third in the opening race of the season in Beijing, but had used too much energy and as a result was knocked down to 10th position. But a great result for the Abt team, and Daniel Abt is part of the family that started their tuning company in 1967. 5 drivers' titles in the DTM. Great to have them here in Formula E as well, and running so successfully with Lucas de Grassi towards the top of the standings, and Daniel Abt now starting to get up to speed, because like I say, third on the road in Beijing, but had used too much energy, so he was knocked back to 10th place. He started the race third in Malaysia, but had car problems, so he didn't get to finish as high as he would have liked there either. But finally, it's all come together, Daniel Abt, with that third place finish.
You know, we saw in the early races everybody having little niggling issues. It didn't look today like there actually was any of those. You know, everybody seemed to have a, you know, Bruno Senna had a suspension thing. Was that contact with the wall? I don't know, but it didn't seem those sort of small issues we had in the first couple of races were any issue today.
So that's where me and Dario are heading, to a boat out in out in the sea. Yeah, no, probably not. But a great advert for Formula E racing here in Miami around the American Airlines Arena. Here's a look at the race classification. Nico Prost taking the win, half a second clear of Scott Speed. Daniel Abt in third, D'Ambrosio fourth, Piquet Jr. fifth, Da Costa, Duval, Bird, de Grassi and Salvador Duran completing the top 10. That's Salvador Duran's first point of the season, which is brilliant to see. And then Sebastian Buemi, only 13th after all of that. Liuzzi will be disappointed to be in 16th place. Jean-Eric Verne finishing down in 18th place in the end, because he retired from the race at the end of, towards the end of the race, unfortunately. As far as the championship is concerned, Nico Prost moves to the top of the standings, 7 points clear of Lucas de Grassi, and then Sam Bird is relegated to third place. A good run from Nelson Piquet Jr. to fifth means he's up into fourth in the championship standings, but Buemi drops from third to fifth with his very disappointing display today. He finished in 13th place, having started in 13th place, while we saw other people make up an awful lot more positions. Scott Speed joins Karun Chandhok, Bruno Senna and the gang on 18 points in the championship. Jean-Eric Verne still yet to pick up some notable points. He's 15th in the championship standings. Charles Pic, Loic Duval also pick up their first points. e.dams extend their lead at the top of the championship. They're looking really, really strong now. Audi Sport Abt in second, 1 point ahead of the Virgin Racing team, with Andretti up into fourth in the standings. Dragon, China, Amna Naguri, Mahindra, Trulli and Venturi complete the top 10. A beautiful day in Miami was host to the first ever E-Prix around downtown, around the American Airlines Arena, home of the Miami Heat basketball team. And it really was a stunning atmosphere, and it turned into a very entertaining race. The Stars and Stripes were flown in, the EJ was on hand as ever, and Salvador Duran won the fan boost, as did Jean-Eric Verne. And the other fan boost went the way of Bruno Senna, but Jean-Eric Verne was the man who was going to be starting on pole position when the lights went out, and it was a good start. A poor start from Nico Prost meant Sam Bird almost got the lead of the race, going down, almost got past him into second place, I should say, going down towards the first corner. There was a bit of contact, as you'll see here. Nico Prost in that blue and yellow car just taps the back of Jean-Eric Verne under braking, causing Verne to... that was so close to going into the wall there, but he kept it all together. And of these guys, front two initially ended up a long way down the field, and it was the guys behind who would end up taking victory. So Jean-Eric Verne was leading the way, Sam Bird chasing him down and just keeping an eye out on what he had to do, as we've seen him do before in Malaysia when he took the lead away from Oriol Servia. There was great battling in the rest of the pack though, as Sebastian Buemi made his way past Tonio Liuzzi. Loic Duval had a great race. He started 18th, but with some good overtaking manoeuvres, ended up finishing in 7th place at the end of the race. Then the battle was on for the lead. Sam Bird desperate to try and get past Jean-Eric Verne. Through the left-hander, he wasn't quite able to do it. But then he forced his way up the inside, coming down to the left-hander of turn 5. The Frenchman locked up, couldn't get it stopped, and that meant that Sam Bird went through into the lead of the race. But he stayed out a lap too long. Jean-Eric Verne came into the pits, but Sam Bird had used too much of his available energy, so he had to coast back around to the pit lane, which basically ruined his race, seeing him finishing down in 8th position. Into the pits came Daniel Abt, and he managed to come out in the lead of the race after a very, very swift pit stop by the Audi Sport Abt guys. So it was Abt, Prost and de Grassi, the top 3. They had a reasonably comfortable advantage over the guys behind. But the American fans were treated to a wonderful display of race driving from Scott Speed as he dived past Lucas de Grassi to move up into 3rd place after previously disposing of Nelson Piquet Jr. But then the move for the lead of the race came up the inside, past Freedom Tower, Nico Prost going past Daniel Abt. Scott Speed followed through up the inside into turn 1. But the man who led for most of the race in Beijing finally took victory when the checkered flag fell. That was a delight for Alain Prost. He was a bit confused because the checkered flag didn't come out, but when they realised the race had ended and Nico Prost was the victor, it was a sweet moment for everyone at e.dams-Renault. Victory in the 5th round of the FIA Formula E Championship for Nico Prost. So now we wait for the podium presentation to get underway in front of the big grandstand, and I'm looking forward to hearing the cheer from Scott Speed, for Scott Speed from the fans that are there. And what a great circuit it's been around the American Airlines Arena, because it's a classic American street circuit, 90 degrees, but good racing.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said to you before, Jack, this is sort of the type of street course I'm more used to, I would say, with those 90-degree corners. And Long Beach will test them, I think, even more than this place, because there are so many different surfaces, different bumps. And it's a new track. It's not the IndyCar track. It's a track that will be really only used for Formula E. So everybody's got to get back to the drawing board in the space between Long Beach, between here and Long Beach, and then we'll get back to it again.
And there's not much of a space because it's the 4th of April, the Long Beach E-Prix, around that famous street circuit. So the 4th of April will be the time, so make sure you join us for that. We'll all be there, and hopefully it'll be very, very entertaining before we then move on to the Monte Carlo E-Prix around the street circuit in Monaco, then Berlin around the Tempelhof Airport. A Moscow street circuit just in front of the Kremlin is going to be absolutely bonkers, and then Battersea Park street circuit for the final 2 races of the season, rounds 10 and 11 of the opening FIA Formula E Championship. But who is going to win the title? No idea, because for the first time since the end of the race in Beijing, we have a new championship leader, and it's Nico Prost. 3rd step of the podium for Daniel Abt.
Now we need our 2nd place finisher.
2nd place, Scott Speed.
First time to compete in one of
Hopefully we should get a big cheer for Scott Speed.
Miami Grand E race fans from California and e.dams-Renault. Here's Scott Speed.
Brilliant reception for Scott Speed as he climbs onto the 2nd step of the podium. Would have been a perfect way for him to mark his debut with a victory, but he could not stop the incredibly impressive Nico Prost. He's continued to impress us every single race this season. He took pole position in Beijing. He's finally won here in round 5. Nico Prost is on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, he has not lucked into that championship lead at all.
Principal race fans, you might recognize this gentleman.
And now I think we're going to have Michael Andretti. Alain Prost, of course. Sorry.
I was wondering what you were doing there. I was thinking, okay.
No, I was thinking, they were like, oh, you might recognise him. I thought it was going to be Andretti, but of course.